Well, it's really exciting to start with Kansas coming down here, a team that's gotten so good with Fitzgerald the last 2 years. They got a really big Friday night guy, and then it don't get any easier. You know, we got Texas Tech rolling in right after that, a team that had a down year last year but had a great recruiting class. And then we head to Houston for 3 the next weekend, and then to Texas for a midweek, and then we go conference. So I guess we're playing in the Big 12 and the SEC before we go to conference. But really excited about the opportunity to play those guys. You really can find out where your team is early. It's not about the wins and the losses. It's about finding out what your team's made of and what changes you need to make and what you need to get better at. And then the Oregon State's down the road to get to go up there to Oregon and play one of the best programs in really the last 20 years. That's an honor for us to get to do that, and it will be a big challenge. And then the Rices and the Texas States and the Sam Houstons are all unbelievable programs. And we bit off a lot to chew, but it's going to be a challenge, but we look forward to the challenge.
Coach, it's your second season in the Southlands. What did y'all learn from last year, and what are y'all hoping to improve on for this season?
Well, you better be good. Every weekend in the Southland, you're going to get beat. A bunch of real gritty teams with a lot of talent. I think the Southland Conference is probably one of the most underrated baseball conferences, even though the strength of the Southland got up to 7th, I think, at one time during the year, right behind the Power Fives, Power Fours. But, man, they're good, and the coaches are good. They run great programs, and we've learned one thing. You better really, really build a pitch in these ballparks because they're going to hit home runs, a lot of power in their lineups. So we have a ton of respect for the conference, and we're going to have our hands full. And they're all good. And it doesn't matter if they're the first-place team or the last-place team. Every one of those teams can beat you any given moment. And you've really got to play good defense and really got to pitch. And if you don't, you will get beat.
And, Coach, how do you think that you guys will match up against these Power 4 opponents at the start of the season?
It's going to be tough. They're spending so much money nowadays to buy their roster. It's always kind of scary to know what they bought. And you can't look at what they did the year before because it changes so fast with the transfer portal and having revenue share and NIL. But I do know they'll all be really good. They'll all be really good, and they'll all have big arms. It'll be a really big challenge for our offense, which is really, really good. It'll be a big challenge because you're facing draft guys and high velo. It'll be a big challenge, but our offense will be so excited to try to go get after those big arms. It'll be fun.
You talk about the transfer portal and affecting, last season and this season. Has that affected this team at all?
It hasn't. We were fortunate to hold on to Armani Ragosa, an All-American. He stayed home, stayed loyal to us, and really Easton Moomaw stayed loyal. And then we added a couple of our big dog transfers, Rocco from Laredo, that's an outstanding player. So, yeah, it was advantage Vaqueros for sure. I think we held on to all our guys, and we got some guys out of the portal that are outstanding. So it was a really good offseason.
Kind of to piggyback off that, apart from the 2 guys that you mentioned, how do you feel about your returners coming into this season?
Well, anytime you have the year you had, on the offensive side, we were the best offensive team in the conference on paper. And when you return a lot of those guys, it's exciting. You have a good base of the middle of your lineup. And then, of course, the pitching stuff. When you look at it, Victor was the newcomer of the year. He went through a summer injury, but he's healthy. He's going to be healthy. And then Wytrack, through the first 6 starts, he was the best pitcher in conference, and he's back. So when you add some guys on the starting rotation that are back, then you kind of have some excitement. Then when you sign guys that you feel like might beat them out, Darren Barrera is one of them. He was unbelievable all first part of the year, and he got hurt, and he's back, and he was one of the 4 starters. So we returned some quality guys that gives you a little bit of confidence with the guys we've signed.
When you look in conference, do you feel that gives you an advantage apart, from the other teams who had a lot of guys leave in the portal or maybe even come in the portal because of
100%. If you can hold on to the culture piece of what you have and the guys that know what's expected of them, those returning guys they're the backbone of your program. If you lose guys constantly and have new teams every year, it is really hard to get consistent and to have culture because culture leaves. It goes out the door. And we have a ton of culture in here, a ton of guys that won a championship, put a ring on their finger, and those guys are biting to go do it again. And the biggest goal is to get into a regional. I mean, this program hadn't been in a regional since 1986. We keep failing the community by not doing what they used to do back in the big days. And we're trying to get this place back to those days, and it's not going to be easy. It's going to take a lot of luck. It's going to take everybody staying healthy, which we didn't have happen last year with all them pitchers being out at the end. But, boy, we can do it, and we can do it. And we're after it. Every day we work for it, and we're really excited about the group we have in here and the schedule we're going to get to play.
You had a great season last year. What do you think of the home turnout that you'll expect this season with playing here?
Oh, man, what a joy for our players. And what has really been funny to watch is all the teams get so excited to come here because of what our administration and this great valley has done supporting us. So it's kind of we had never been 500 on the road. Nobody in the school's been 500 on the road, the history of the school. It's very hard to win on the road because we're so far and our travel's so hard. Well, we went 16-10 on the road last year, which we worked hard on, and those games were hard. But the disadvantage is these kids come in here now, these teams, and they play at a higher level. Pitchers that are 90 on the scouting report, they get in here in front of 6,000, 7,000, and all of a sudden they're 94. And you're like, what is going on? So we have a little bit of a two-edged sword. Our kids love the excitement and the energy, but them other teams coming in there, they get fired up to play in front of these crowds. So, but man, it's awesome. I think it's just going to keep growing.
Speaking on the crowds, obviously last year you guys were top 30 in the nation in attendance. What do you think having two Power 4 schools coming in to start the season is going to do to set the tone for your program this year with attendance?
I think it's huge to start the year because the fans are going to see such big-time teams. I mean, these guys there's future big leaguers on these rosters, you know. I don't know if Kansas will throw underneath 95 miles an hour the whole weekend. And you know Texas Tech's coming in here with all that. So, man, as a fan, it's so exciting to watch that level of baseball. And we strive to be on that level. And it's exciting for the fans because the speed of the game is so fast and so exciting. And to be able to play them, you can't beat them if you don't play them. People would say, Matlock, you bite off more than you can chew. You play such a hard schedule. But my philosophy is different. It's not about winning and losing. Conference is when it matters. We've got to figure out who our team is. And if we're beating the best guys in those power conferences, then we got a good chance to beat the guys in our conference. So it's a challenge, but it sure is fun. And our kids want it. If we schedule different teams outside of that, they'd be mad. They'd be like, Coach, we're not playing the big guys. So it's kind of expected now.
On a similar note, after last year being in that at-large conversation, how much did that impact the scheduling going into this year?
I mean, it's what we do every year. We try to, in the RPI, there's a thing that they really take into account, and they call it intent to schedule. So when the committee's in there talking about the teams that are going to get in, the intent to schedule is huge. If they see us playing a bunch of teams that do not have good RPI, we're going to lose the fight. We know we have the intent to schedule, and we had the number one intent to schedule last year on all the bubble teams, and it wasn't close. And so that's one of our big things in doing a schedule is we want to show everybody we have an intent to schedule. We're not scared to fly to Oregon and play Oregon State, who is in Omaha. You know, we're not scared to play the teams we play because we want to have an intent to schedule. And with that being said, we got to win them. And you can't just schedule them. You got to beat them. And if you don't beat them, it doesn't do anything for you. Winning is what gives you points in RPI. But being that close, and you can look at the show, and they put Southeast up in there. Boy, they were really, really good. But we were one of the top 2 or 3 teams out. And it's our fault because we lost some games we shouldn't have lost to. You know, Carnicord here, Corpus there. Those 1 or 2 wins kept us out. But when you get in the conversation to be in, that's what gives you an opportunity the next year to get in. You can't win regionals till you get in them. You can't win conference championships till you get in them. And we're in them. We were in another tournament conference championship also at the end of it, fighting at the very end of it. So those things are benefits to the Vaqueros.